You've heard the name, right? Jesse Owens. Legendary. But the real story of the man who outran history itself, well, that story is deeper, it's more complicated, and honestly, it's way more powerful than the legend we all think we know. So, let's dive in.
Okay, so picture this. Berlin, 1936, the Olympics, being held right in the heart of Nazi Germany. The story we all know, the one we've heard a million times, is that one man, Jesse Owens, pretty much, as the ESPN put it, single-handedly crushed Hitler's myth of Aryan supremacy. It's the ultimate good versus evil tale, right? Played out for the whole world to see.
But is that really the whole story? I mean, just one incredible moment frozen in time? The truth is, those 4 gold medals, they're just one chapter in an absolutely extraordinary life. A life that started worlds away from the bright lights of an Olympic stadium. So to really understand the man, we need to go back, way, way back to the very beginning.
His story starts in 1913, in Oakville, Alabama. He was born James Cleveland Owens, the grandson of a slave and the son of a sharecropper. To his family, he was just JC. And the journey from that life to an Olympic podium, well, it's almost impossible to imagine.
When he was 9 years old, JC's family joined the Great Migration. They headed north to Cleveland, Ohio, searching for a better life, trying to escape the deep-seated segregation of the South. And that one decision, it changed the entire course of his future.
And Cleveland is where his new life came with a whole new name. It happened on his first day of school. The teacher asked him his name and he said JC, but with his southern accent, she heard Jesse. And just like that, the name stuck. He was Jesse Owens for the rest of his life.
Now, long before he became this global icon in Berlin, Jesse Owens had already done something so incredible, so staggering, that many people still call it the single greatest day in the history of sports. Period.
And get this, he did it all in just 45 minutes. Let that sink in for a second. Less than 1 hour to completely rewrite the record books.
What's absolutely insane when you look at this is the sheer dominance. May 25th, 1935, at the Big Ten Championships, Owens, and he was nursing a back injury so bad he could barely even bend over, did the impossible. In that 45-minute window, he tied one world record and flat out shattered 3 others. And that long jump record he set, it wouldn't be broken for 25 years. I mean, come on, it is a performance that has just never, ever been matched.
Which brings us back to Berlin. This is where the legend was truly forged, right in the global spotlight. And it's also where one of history's most stubborn myths really took hold.
In Berlin, he was just on another level, untouchable. 4 events, 4 gold medals. The 100 meters, the long jump, the 200 meters, and the 4x100 relay. He wasn't just a winner. He was, without a doubt, the most dominant athlete of the entire 1936 Games.
And this is where we get to that famous story. You know the one. That Hitler, so furious at Owens' success, refused to shake his hand. It's a powerful image. But is that how it actually went down?
Well, according to the man himself, that's not quite right. Owens later said that Hitler just left the stadium when he was scheduled to. In fact, he remembered, he waved at me and I waved back. So while Hitler was obviously no fan, that famous public snub we always hear about, yeah, it's more legend than fact.
And here's the real kicker. The actual snub, as Owens himself pointed out, came from much, much closer to home. He would later say, Hitler didn't snub me, it was our president who snubbed me. President Franklin D. Roosevelt never once acknowledged his historic victory. No invitation to the White House, not even a telegram.
And that silence from the White House? Man, that was just a grim preview of the reality that was waiting for America's Olympic hero when he came back home.
On the surface, he got a hero's welcome. There was a huge ticker tape parade down Broadway's Canyon of Heroes in New York. The crowds were roaring, the city was throwing a massive party just for him.
But that celebration came to a screeching halt at the hotel door. At a reception held in his own honor at the prestigious Waldorf Astoria Hotel, Jesse Owens, the world's greatest athlete, was told he couldn't use the front entrance. He had to ride the freight elevator.
You see, his fame didn't pay the bills. In a segregated America, big endorsement deals just weren't an option for a black man. He struggled. He took odd jobs and even had to do these humiliating spectacles like racing against horses for cash. As he later said, I had 4 gold medals, but you can't eat 4 gold medals.
So yeah, his life after the glory of the Games was a real battle.
But it was also a story of profound growth and, eventually, of long overdue recognition.
And this right here really shows his personal evolution. In 1968, he actually condemned the Black Power salute at the Mexico City Olympics. But his perspective changed, big time. Just 4 years later, in his own book, he wrote this: "I realize now that militancy was the only answer. Any black man who wasn't a militant in 1970 was either blind or a coward."
And that official recognition he was denied back in 1936? It did finally arrive. President Eisenhower named him a Goodwill Ambassador. In 1976, he received the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and the Congressional Gold Medal was awarded after his death.
Jesse Owens passed away from lung cancer in 1980 at just 66 years old. His life had been a true marathon, one filled with hurdles far more challenging than any he ever cleared on a track.
And the inscription on his gravestone, it says it all. It perfectly captures his entire journey. A winner who knew that winning was not everything. Because the story of Jesse Owens isn't just about winning 4 gold medals. It's about running the race of a lifetime, and it reminds us that the most important victories are often won far, far away from any finish line.